Won't anyone see us?
No, not they. Oh, we're a fair way from the shore, right enough.
Oh, I thought the mist would be cold. It isn't at all.
Well, you're with me, aren't you? And haven't I the warm one?
I don't ever want to have to go back.
Oh, good. I was beginning to think you were getting bored with my company.
Oh, you.
Steady.
I wish this could be forever.
It will, my love. It will be.
The Cardboard Box by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Dramatised for radio by Roger Danes. With Clive Medicine as Sherlock Holmes and Michael Williams as Dr. John Watson. And featuring Kevin Whately as Jim Browner and Stephen Thorne as Inspector Lestrade. The Cardboard Box.
There you go, Bob. That might put you right then.
I'll say. There's nothing like lemonade to clear a thirst on a hot day. Nothing like your lemonade, anyhow.
Nice and cool inside the house.
Oh, can't. Not really, Annabelle. Got another score of parcels to do.
Oh, you shouldn't have come to us first then.
You're always first on my list, Annabelle.
Oh, go on. If the lemonade brings you, I know.
It's not.
You could step in a moment. Get cool.
Won't she have something to say about that? Her upstairs?
Miss Cushion. She's a lamb. Besides, she won't know, will she?
No, burst. It's not that I'm not tempted, Annabelle. And if you wasn't the first on me round, I'd surely step inside it. By crikey!
It's Miss Cushion! Somebody's a-murdering her!
You're right, Watson. It does seem a most preposterous way of settling a dispute.
Utterly preposterous.
Yes. Oh, my dear fellow, your face.
Well, how should I look, Holmes, when you have just echoed the very thought of my soul, and without my ever having expressed it?
I should have spared you had it not been for a certain incredulity on your part the other day.
What?
Mr. Edgar Allan Poe's mere tour de force?
Oh, that.
Did you not dismiss Monsieur Auguste Dupin's train of reasoning as unworthy of belief?
But the murders in the Rue Morgue is a fantasy, Holmes.
Yeah, but I reminded you that I, too, have such a faculty, even that I am constantly in the habit of reasoning the unspoken thoughts of my companions. You expressed the same incredulity.
I have no remembrance of doubting you ever.
Perhaps not with your tongue, but your eyebrows are most expressive.
If I remember aright, though, Poe's Dupin character drew his conclusions from his friend's actions. An unvoiced word, a stumble over a heap of stones, looking up at the stars in a familiar street, and so on.
And so?
Well, I have been quietly sitting in my chair.
But your features, my dear fellow, your features have expressed your every emotion.
From them you have read my train of thoughts?
Perhaps you cannot yourself recall how your brown study commenced.
Well, of course not.
Then I'll tell you. You threw down your newspaper.
There was nothing in it of
Please,
any
Miss
interest.
Watson, after a minute or so, during which your expression was utterly vacant, you fixed your attention upon General Gordon over there. I hazard that you were admiring the new frame to his portrait.
Go on.
Then your eyes flashed across to the unframed portrait of Henry Ward Beecher. Frames were uppermost in your mind, obviously, but then you glanced up at the wall, and I deduced you to be thinking Beecher would just nicely cover the bare space to make a match with Gordon.
You have followed me exactly.
Well, I could hardly have gone astray so far. Your thoughts went back to Beecher. Well, naturally, given your family connection, your eyes first narrowed as you considered the character of his features, and then relaxed. You were recalling the incidents of his career.
I had no idea you
Your
were
natural
observing
strength of feeling, as I know full well, would lead you next to thoughts of the American Civil War, via Beecher's efforts to promote the Northern Union cause. And you confirmed my suspicion. Your lips tightened, your eyes sparkled and your hands clenched. You were clearly dwelling upon the gallantry shown by both sides in that desperate struggle.
Yes, indeed.
Your face grew sadder. Huh? You shook your head.
The horror. The useless waste of life.
Precisely. And then your hand stole towards your left shoulder.
Ah, yes.
A slight smile appeared on your lips. Then, much as it does now, you were thinking of your own war injuries and the ridiculous aspect of such a method of settling international differences.
Well, is it not preposterous?
And at that point, I agreed with you.
Oh, you have explained it all, Holmes. And I confess I am as amazed as before.
Well, it's gratifying to find my deductions have been correct. It's merely a diversion, Watson, in the absence of some new, better puzzle.
Inspector Lestrade!
All right, driver.
Mr. Lestrade, the Standard.
Inspector!
You got here quick, gentlemen?
Anything to say to the Daily Chronicle, Inspector?
Yes, go away.
Do you have any details of the case so far?
Any clues, sir? What about the lady in the business, Inspector?
How did she react to such a gruesome discovery?
If I should find time to give you an opinion, gentlemen, it will be later.
Do you intend to question the lady now, sir?
That is the normal procedure in such matters, yes.
Would you say the lady in the case was a colourful sort?
Oh, as a past, does she, sir?
The police have no reason to suppose Miss Cushing may be anything other than highly respectable.
How old is she, Inspector? Do you mind?
Have you spoken to the delivery boy who brought the packet?
In good time.
I have.
What did he say then?
He said...
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
He said very little. But what he did say, you can all read in my column tomorrow, can't you?
How many?
Just the three.
Well?
One for me from Southsea.
Yes, Mrs. Watson enjoying her holiday.
Yes, very much. She wishes I were there.
Ah, yes, the impecunious husband. Tell some more stories, Watson, and then you both may afford to sun yourselves by the seaside.
Another one from Mr. Montague Clinch.
Oh, that man. Burn it, Watson, at once. He's never ceased to pester me since that damnable affair with the Beauty of Bath.
And lastly, this from Inspector Lestrade.
Ah.
I have a case here in Croydon I think is very much in your line. We have every hope of clearing the matter up, but we find a little difficulty in getting anything to work upon.
Difficulty, I know that code.
He writes we may find a report on the matter in the Daily Chronicle.
The Chronicle? Good God, is this the kind of depth to which we've sunk, Watson? Do we have that rag still about the place?
I clean my
No
boots.
matter. We'll read it on the train. What do you say, Watson? Can you rise superior to this heat?
There's no hardship after India, Holmes. And I was longing for something to do.
There's always the off chance of a case for your annals. Perhaps even some money for your postponed holiday.
Yes, I have considered that.
Well, then, my dear fellow, you shall have it. There, beneath the financial news.
Ah, yes. A gruesome discovery.
Not gruesome enough to merit a position above the money.
Miss Susan Cushing, living across Street, Croydon, has been the victim of a particularly revolting practical joke. At 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon, a small brown paper-wrapped packet dispatched from Belfast was handed in by the postman. To the horror of the 50-year-old maiden lady, and that of her pretty young servant Annabel...
The facts, Watson, if you please, not the hearts and flowers.
The cardboard package contained 2 freshly severed human ears.
I've told you, I know nothing whatever about those dreadful things, Mr. Lestrade. I really cannot see the use of asking me yet more questions.
It is the normal
Miss Cushing's quite right. The most fruitful start to our inquiries is likely to be the evidence of the package itself and, of course, its contents.
They are in the outhouse. I won't have them in here, Mr. Lestrade. I only wish you would take them away altogether.
In good time, Miss Cushing. First of all, though, I would be obliged if you will inform my friends about your 3 medical student lodgers.
Is this your hope for clearing the matter up, Lestrade?
They are the only men the police can think of, gentlemen, who could have been capable of so malicious a practical joke.
You don't believe in it yourself, then?
I have to admit to its plausibility,
These medical fellows will get up to any tricks, believe you me. You must once have been a student yourself, Doctor.
I never sent severed ears by parcel post, Lestrade.
Please tell us about Mr. McIlroy's dinner, then, Miss Cushing.
This would have been about a couple of years ago, gentlemen, at my former house in Penge. And some weeks before I was obliged to ask my 3 lodgers to leave, Mr. McElroy...
Forgive me, this is McElroy. He would be the estimable inspector's favoured suspect.
And an Irishman?
From Belfast. Is that not significant?
The postmark of the package. It does lend probability to your suspicion, Lestrade.
Well, that is to say, I believe Mr. McElroy's family were from Belfast, but I'm not certain. It might have been Dublin or Galway.
Well, Lestrade, that narrows the field to Ireland, anyway.
Please go on, Miss Cushing.
Mr. McElroy claimed one evening after dinner to have discovered a human finger in his stew.
A singularly inappropriate practical joke.
Did he produce it?
I refused him the pleasure of showing me.
That was well done, Miss Cushing.
It was not this incident, though, which caused you to ask the 3 young gentlemen to leave your house a short time later.
It was merely a part of their general behaviour, Inspector, their noise and their irregular habits.
Quite the norm for medical men, wouldn't you say, Watson?
No.
So you can see, Mr. Holmes, we may suppose these men to have owed Miss Cushing a grudge.
And to have hoped to frighten her by dispatching some gruesome relics from the dissecting rooms.
And we have to believe in so strong a grudge that these men could wait 2 years before avenging themselves, and in this singularly revolting manner.
The police are of that opinion, sir.
But you, Miss Cushing, what do you think?
I am convinced this matter is a mistake.
No, Miss Cushing, we have...
And you've said this to Inspector Lestrade?
I have, several times. Why would anyone play me such a trick, Mr. Holmes? As far as I know, I have not an enemy in the world.